Watch me come alive. Burn so bad that you'll go blind. You seem so bad that I'm still alive. I'm done holding back. This is the final attack. And now it all comes to black.
So it's finally happening. Nightwing versus Daredevil. Live action death battle. Oh,
Hey everybody, want to let
and
you
I
know
still
we have
don't know
all new
who's
Death
gonna
Battle
win.
theme. If you guys like the way it looks and you want to pick one up,
I'm
just
still
click the
on
link
the
in
fence.
description below. It's beautiful.
Yes, it is, Ben. You've got your own, okay? But anyway, let's start the rundowns for these two ninja-like.
In a world where superhumans can fly through the sky or lift buildings over their head, it takes a lot more than a pair of tights for a mere mortal to stand out from the crowd.
But these guys have it covered.
Nightwing, the original protege
Daredevil's
of
a super.
Batman.
And
But
Daredevil, Marvel's
whatever.
man without fear. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons,
start
armor,
with
and
Dick
skills
Grayson.
to find out who would win a death battle.
Yeah.
In modern times, the questionable whimsies of the circus are all but dead.
And good riddance, because the world doesn't need any more clowns.
Sorry.
Yet in its heyday, few performances could top the trapeze mastery of the Flying Graysons.
Well, until a mobster cut their cord on life short. Literally.
But they had a son, young yet just as talented as them. Orphaned and alone, all seemed hopeless for Dick Grayson.
Until he scored the coolest foster dad in the friggin' universe. The
Indeed.
goddamn Batman.
And under the Cape Crusader, Dick wasn't just a son, he was a sidekick, a superhero.
Yep.
He was Robin.
The Flying Robin.
Until he wasn't.
You got knocked the out, man!
Robin spent many
Yeah.
years kicking bad guys around the back alleys of Gotham City with his new
but
dad.
we-
Who
huh?
could forget the time he crushed Blockbuster under a truck, or when he whipped out that shark
Yeah,
repellent?
who could
Never leave
forget
home
that?
without it, kids.
But then Batman suddenly realized, you know what? Bringing kids into battle is actually a bad idea. So he fired him, and then promptly forgot this little
Or Tim
revelation.
Drake. Or
Only
Jason
time
Todd,
to update
whatever.
the resume, Batman. Probably for the best, though.
Who is
I mean,
Tim Drake
come
again?
on. The kid didn't even have a proper pair of pants. What's your problem, Bruce? Oh, the
That's
mouth
a
on
no-no word.
Actually, it was for the best, though not in the way Batman hoped. Inspired by a story of an ancient Kryptonian superhero, Dick took to the streets by himself with a brand new uniform and a brand new name. From
Yep.
then on, he would be known as Nightwing.
He's no kid no more.
Gotta hand it to Bats. He sure knows how to mold a kid into a criminal-crushing machine. With expertise in taekwondo, ninjutsu, aikido, and a bunch of other styles, Nightwing is one of the finest martial artists in comic book history.
No doubt helped by his world-class acrobatic skills. He is one of only 3 people on Earth who are capable of performing a quadruple flip.
And between the fancy schooling he got at Hudson U and being a founding member of the Teen Titans, he's
Indeed.
got brains and brawn, plus a whole lot of weapons.
Nightwing's suit is lightweight, bulletproof, and makes virtually no sound when moving. The blue colors even turn black while in the dark. His mask features a holographic UI, complete with night vision and a spectral
Electromagnetic waves.
analyzer.
Oh.
He's rocking utility belts on his wrists and ankles full of lockpicks, smoke pellets,
Ooh, is that
and
gonna come in
staples
handy?
that are so strong they can support the weight of
Maybe
a
not.
freaking helicopter.
He also carries a rebreather, grapple gun, and wingdings.
That weird alien font with all the shapes? Oh, I'll figure out your secret one
it's
day,
not unknown.
Wingdings.
No, more like the batarangs or thrown shurikens. The standard wingdings are extremely sharp, but he also carries dulled, ultrasonic, and explosive variants.
But let's get to the good stuff, like his 2 screaming sticks
Eskrima sticks.
that are great for beating the shit out of people. And they'll be pretty shocked when they find out Nightwing has wired them with 50,000 volt tasers.
Despite their falling out, Nightwing clearly remains inspired by the gadgets and skills of his baddie
Of course.
mentor. and he's put them to good use.
96 hours
He's
without
strong
sleep.
enough
Nice.
to punch people through solid walls and smash through a sheet of ice from underwater and hold back the 19,000 pounds per square inch bite force of an orca.
And while breaking a car window doesn't
Yeah, too
sound
bad Batman
impressive,
couldn't without
Nightwing's
his
done
head.
so while the car was underwater, and therefore pressurized. To pull this off, he needed to impact the glass with over 24,000 pounds per square inch.
He's quick enough to dodge
24,000.
point-blank gunfire,
Okay.
skilled enough to leap through the city while blindfolded, and tough enough to survive falling off a building.
Generally, any unsafe landing over 21 feet is guaranteed to break bone.
Okay, so he
And
snuck around
Nightwing dropped
Superman.
140 feet onto his butt, and he was fine.
How's that compared to Daredevil,
We've all fallen
senses?
on our tailbone. That shit sucks.
At one point, Nightwing spent 96 hours patrolling city streets looking for the criminal mastermind Two-Face, and an additional 5 or more hours collecting evidence. A 2010 study on sleep deprivation noted that 72 hours without sleep leads to a number of horrendous side effects, including hallucinations.
But when it was time to leap between blimps hundreds of feet in the air and give Two-Face the beatdown he deserved, you couldn't even tell Nightwing was in desperate need of a nap. And don't forget, he was trained by the #1 detective in the world. He's good enough to solve a kidnapping with a single look at the scene of a crime.
Even more impressive, he once performed a skydive at
Oh.
930 miles per hour, which took all of 15 minutes. That puts his starting position around 25 miles high and free falling faster than the speed of sound. For reference, real-life Austrian athlete Felix Baumgartner performed a similar great leap from 24 miles up, hitting a maximum speed over 800 miles per hour.
All right.
To pull this off, he needed a specialized suit to protect him from the extreme cold, unfiltered sunlight, and lack of oxygen. One mistaken movement could have put him into a rapid spin, rendering him unconscious and causing his blood to boil.
And Nightwing just did it without any of that. Damn.
He's certainly tough, but he's had his fair share of losses. His scarred body is proof of that.
And eventually, him and Bats finally made up. He even took up the cowl himself when Batman was out for a while. Nightwing is one superhero who will always come out on top.
Indeed.
Along with his partners, Jim and Juan.
What?
I mean, it's right here in the intern's notes. Who's Jim and Juan?
Oh, that's the names these ladies gave his butt cheeks.
Oh, well, guess you can't argue with the ass on that dick.
Robin?
I haven't used that name in a long time. Call me Nightwing.
Hello? Did he seriously become
became
Nightwing in the
man
original
without
Teen Titans
fear,
cartoon?
Matthew Murdock was the son of a professional
Okay,
boxer named
here's Matthew
Battling
Murdock.
Jack.
Sounds like a badass. But
Yep.
Jack actually boxed because it was the only thing he was good at. And he needed money to get his kid through school so that little Matt would have a better life than he did. Oh, what a good dad.
Indeed.
He's punching people for his kid.
Matt still trained in secret with his father's exercise equipment, molding himself into a powerful fighter and an expert acrobat. This new
100,000
athletic
PSI
ability would
strength.
come in handy when he witnessed a blind man walking right in front of a speeding truck.
Feeling especially heroic that day, Matt dove in to push the guy to safety, but the truck crashed, sending some weird acid stuff flying all over Matt's face.
From that day forward, Matt was permanently blind.
I can't see! I can't see!
Still, Matt did not give up on the dream his father wanted. He earned his degree with flying colors and founded a law firm with his friend Foggy Nelson. Things were actually looking up for him.
Well, except for when his dad was killed by a mobster
Yep.
for ruining a rigged boxing match. Because you can't be a superhero unless you've lost your parents.
Matt was distraught. His world had come crashing down around him, and he couldn't even see it happen. But he could hear it, smell it, feel
Yep.
it.
Yeah, 'cause turns out that radioactive goop didn't just blind Matt, it gave him superpowers. So he dressed up like the devil himself and literally scared the mobster to death.
And so, Daredevil was born.
There we go.
Many blind people, particularly those born with it, experience a rewriting of the brain to heighten their other senses, somewhat making up for their lack of sight.
Something similar happened to Daredevil, except like 100 times greater.
Same
His touch
munitions,
became
the
so
teeth and
sensitive,
teeth.
he can tell
Okay,
when a person is
whatever.
close to him simply from the disturbance in the air. His ears can pick up the faintest of sounds, from the slightest movement of an enemy to the rising heartbeat of someone who's lying. His taste can detect each separate ingredient in any recipe, including poisons, and his nose can track you down like a bloodhound.
Who needs eyes when you can sense everything around you to the smallest detail? But he couldn't use his blind powers as well as he does
Minor
without the
telepathy,
training
okay.
under a super secret warrior
I don't think
named
Nightwing has
Stick.
that.
No relation.
With Stick's help, Matt mastered several fighting styles, including ninjutsu, Krav Maga, and Kung Fu.
And get this, Stick had basically the same blind powers as Daredevil.
Whoa. Silk sheets.
Thanks to him, Matt learned how to hone his senses, to know and maneuver through his surroundings even better than those with working eyes. He also learned how to tap into something called an atom-induced radar sense.
Like that thing that bats do when they bounce sound around to see in the dark or whatever?
Sort of. That's sonar, or echolocation, and he can use it too. But thanks to his radioactive origins, Daredevil can actually emit electromagnetic energy waves from his body, which bounce off objects in his vicinity, painting a picture of his surroundings in his head. This means he doesn't even need sound to find and take down an opponent.
So he's got a ton of ways to make up for his eye problem, but he's also got some awesome gear to help him take out the bad guys. Like his devil suit that's bulletproof, shockproof, flameproof, and a perfect backup plan whenever he forgets to prep for a Halloween party.
For combat, he
Gotta be
built
ready
a
for-
versatile weapon out of his most innocuous possession, a walking cane.
By day, he's a feeble blind man slowly tapping across the road. But by night, he whips out the horns and snaps his cane into
what
a
antennae?
high-tech billy club.
The club houses a cable, hidden blades, a recording device, and exploding pellets.
It can even turn into a boomerang. Man, where do I get one of these? You don't have to be blind, right?
No, but you shouldn't. You already destroy everything without a super club.
Well, I'd need to practice to throw it as well as he does. You know how Captain America tosses his shield all over the place and it always seems to come back to him? Well, Daredevil does the exact same thing. And he can throw it hard enough to bust concrete. He's super strong. He can lift a 400-pound barbell and chuck it as casually as when I toss a beer away if it's time for a new one.
He's quick enough to deflect bullets with his billy club and skilled enough to bounce one back so it killed the man who fired it in the first place.
Bet that guy wasn't expecting that. It looks like he's firing a Glock, which has a muzzle speed of about 1,200 feet per second.
At just 20 feet away, Daredevil had to react within 17 milliseconds to avoid getting hit. And while he couldn't survive
quick.
a shot to the head, he's powered through a heck of a lot when compared to the average human.
He's survived zaps from Electro, whose power can burn through metal. He's fallen multiple stories and walked away. Powered through a napalm explosion and been hit by a 5-foot bar swung by the Ox, who can tear through metal cages and lift more than 800 pounds.
His keen control over his nervous system has also helped him resist tranquilizers and toxins, but his super senses are also his biggest weakness.
They may give him way more field awareness than most anybody else, but if his opponent knows how his powers work, they can overload his senses with an extremely loud noise or a really bad smell. Like if you had a truckload of screaming skunks you could throw at him. That'd probably work, right?
But even with those weaknesses, Daredevil is
Nightwing's
a fearsome
visor
foe
reflects
for anyone
EM
who would
waves.
face him, even if he can't see them.
He even managed to balance his life of law and the crime fighting, and became a huge success on his own. Papa Boxer would be proud.
I'm gonna kill you!
Take your shot.
All right, the combatants are set.
Time
Let's end
for-
this debate once and for all.
But first, you
Time
need
for
to
gear
treat your
versus
senses
powers.
to Blue Apron.
By now, you've probably heard of Blue Apron.
And by the time I
leading meal
upload
kit
it, it'll be
delivery
too late for a
service in-
code.
Now, it's time for a
Sorry.
death battle!
Still on the fence on this one. So let's see. Alright. Here's the Daredevil.
I know you're there. You can leave now, or I can drag you out. It's your choice.
And there he is.
Ooh, I'm shaking in my boots, especially looking at the Prince of Darkness. But that case over there is part of an investigation I've been working, so why don't you hand it over, and I'll get out of your horns. Is that a no then?
Alright. training do you need to do to make a live-action death battle? Yep. Daredevil's sensing every move Nightwing makes. There's the Billy Club. Scanning. Oh. Uh-oh. Busted an arm. What now? Oh. Fixed.
What are you? Better.
Better. Nice. Electric proof. Oh. Rebound. You got a plan for this, Dick? Nope. Not gonna work. Probably. Okay, got those. And is this it? Oh! This might be it!
I wish I could see the look on your face.
Me too.
Uh-oh. Sonic noise! He's got it! This might be it! Oh!
See you in hell.
And that's it, I suppose. Yep!
KO!
R.I.P.
What the-
Daredevil.
Was that live action? We can do that now?
This was possibly one of our closest matchups to date. Despite lacking a true superhuman physique, both Nightwing and Daredevil were extremely skilled and deadly fighters.
When it came to
Indeed.
overpowering each other, they were pretty dead even. Sure, based on their previous feats, we can tell that Nightwing seemed a little stronger and more acrobatic, and Daredevil seemed a little quicker to react.
But these differences were extremely minimal. It's actually feasible that these two could pull off almost all the exact same feats.
Keyword being almost.
Almost.
Right, with such similar physical abilities, this really came down to their arsenal. Nightwing's gadgets and Daredevil's superpowers. At first glance, these could simply counter each other, making this match completely even again. For example, both could take advantage of the dark with night vision or super senses, but only one set was perfectly suited to actively disrupt the other.
Remember Nightwing's scanning mask? There's no way he couldn't notice those electro waves Daredevil's radar sense was sending everywhere. Even Mr. Magoo could have figured out something was weird here, let alone the guy trained by freaking Batman. You know, the greatest detective in the world.
Through a little hand-to-hand action, Nightwing was certainly clever enough to recognize Daredevil's reliance to sound over sight, and had the perfect counterweapon, the ultrasonic wingding.
Look, I'm sure there were several possible scenarios where Daredevil could have pulled off the win, but more times than not, Nightwing takes this thanks to his athletic skill, detective training, and high-tech gadgets. All he had to do was dare to wing it.
The winner
Indeed.
is Nightwing.
Go, Dick Grayson! And this is just the 99th episode. What's this one? A classic match? Oh, wait. I've been pondering this.
Let's go.
I knew it! They're doing Mario and Sonic again!
Oh, This thing came off the camera when I was setting it up.
Are you telling me every single time you've set up the camera, you've never taken the cap off? Hey, thanks for watching our 99th episode.
Okay.
Here's Mahawk for that awesome live-action fight.
Plus, we've got a new t-shirt.
Okay.
Hey, if you guys want to pick one up, just click that.
Somehow I just knew that Mario vs. Sonic would be happening. But I didn't expect that Wiz and Boomstick would finally reveal themselves on camera. Finally. But yeah, Nightwing versus Daredevil. That was a very close match. I had a hard time guessing who would win in the end. But it looks like Nightwing's gear pulled it off. So yeah, I'll see you next time on episode 100, when Mario and Sonic duke it out once again. What are these new rules? I have no idea. But, okay, see you then. Bye.